Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, April 10th, 2014. This incident happened shortly after we went on the air yesterday. There was a mass stabbing at an American high school about 20 miles east of Pittsburgh. A 16-year-old student stabbed 22 of his schoolmates. A number of them are in critical condition. His attorney says, I think he understands what he did. One of his classmates said that the student was a little misunderstood. I always felt like he had a different side to him that nobody knew, and it was like hard to reach. We report this because we have in the past reported a number of stabbings in China, usually associated with the Uyghurs in the western part of the country. I suppose the only thing we could be grateful for is that this 16-year-old student did not have access to a gun. There was depressing economic news from China today. Their exports fell 6.6% during the month of March compared with the same figure a year ago. Imports dropped even more sharply, over 11%. They did still report a trade surplus of $7.7 billion, which was positive news because in February they logged a trade deficit of $23 billion. A spokesman for the Chinese government admitted that the country was having some difficulties with its foreign trade and went on to say that our foreign trade has seen its competitive advantages being eclipsed due to rising competition posed by neighboring countries. Translation, the emerging middle class in China, who no longer are satisfied being paid with very small wages. The decline stunned analysts who had in fact forecast growth of 4.2% in exports and 2.8% in imports. Update on the Malaysian 777 that crashed. There's been another acoustical pinging discovered by an Australian search plane which dropped sonar buoys. This is now the fifth confirmed pinging, all in the same area, so the authorities are at least under the apprehension that they are in the right area. Again, there's still no recognition as to when they're going to be able to actually find the wreckage or the black boxes, but the search now, which includes some 14 airplanes and 13 ships, are now focusing on a very small area. There was a fire on December 24th in Canada, out in Saskatchewan, at a facility owned by the Co-op Refinery Complex. Co-op Refinery is in turn owned by federated cooperatives. The facility is insured by Royal Sun Alliance. They lead the program. The loss was initially reported for property only at between $380 million and $500 million. The loss was initially reported for property at $400 million. Now with business interruption added in, unexpectedly the loss looks like it's going to exceed $500 million. The fire that broke out was extinguished in only 1 hour. However, it ended up halving the capacity of the plant from 130,000 barrels of oil a day down to 60,000 barrels of oil. It's not yet been completely repaired, so the BI claims continue to mount. It's expected now the loss is going to reach the Lloyd's markets. In early April, there was a series of thunderstorms and small tornadoes, if an EF1 tornado can be considered small, that rolled through Texas in the area of Denton in the northern part of the state. According to the Texas Insurance Council, those storms are now expected to cause about $300 million in insured losses. Damage was done to the University of North Texas and Texas Women's University, as well as to a number of cars and businesses. The Insurance Council said that about 24,000 vehicles and 12,000 homes were damaged in the storm. Bank of America has agreed to pay $772 million in fines and refunds to satisfy regulators' accusations that it misled customers who bought extra credit card products and illegally charged others for credit monitoring and reporting services that they didn't receive. If you've ever been on the phone with your bank lately, you know you can't get off the phone until they run through these product offerings that they claim that you can't do without. The regulator said about 2.9 million consumers were affected in the Bank of America case. They alleged that telemarketers made sales pitches for 2 credit protection products that were misleading about their cost and benefits. Bank of America neither admitted nor denied the allegations. There was a large car bomb in central Athens this morning. It exploded. It had about 75 kilograms of explosive powder in it. It broke up a number of windows and shattered some doors. It fortunately didn't injure anybody. It is thought that the bomb exploded as a result of a domestic anarchist movement. Fortunately, a telephone warning was phoned in. Two things are going on there. Tomorrow, German Chancellor Angela Merkel arrives on a state visit, but more importantly today, Greece returned to the international bond market. Just 2 years after being the epicenter of the Eurozone's sovereign debt crisis, the bonds that the country put out, I believe they put out some $300 million in bonds. They had offered a yield of 5%, but they were so oversubscribed that Athens was able to sell the bonds at 4.95%. The government said that the sale had been at least 8 times oversubscribed. Good for them. They're emerging from the dark hole they were in. Their economy has shrunk, however, by 20%, so it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. In the northwestern part of the United States, yesterday in the evening, 2 states, Oregon and Washington State, saw their 911 emergency phone service evaporate. It went down. Oregon is since back online, but the entire state of Washington's 911 emergency phone service is out. A spokesperson said that people with an emergency should try a 911 call from a cell phone because the landlines won't work. Or, if you need to, people can actually physically go to their nearest fire station to report the fire. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.